Hello everybody and welcome to the Elite Dangerous live stream. My name's Ed, part of the community management team here at Frontier Developments, and I'm joined of course by the ever splendid, the ever tall, the tallest dad, 2017 executive producer on Elite Dangerous. It's Adam Woods. How are you doing, Adam?
I am very well, thank you, Ed.
Very good.
It's very nice to have, to be on a stream with you.
I'm back.
Yeah,
It feels...
It's been lovely to have Will. But
That's right. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say congratulations to you, Adam and Will, so far for such an incredible set of live stream content.
Yeah,
it's
been quite something. It's been quite something.
Yeah.
I said to Will, I think it's been a theme. I've said it. I've probably got it in every stream now, but. After 10 months of working on this stuff, to finally just go, here it is, and not be quiet about things, it's nice. Especially, it's even, and the little cherry on top is the fact that you guys are, I think they're quite happy with what we've shown them so far.
Which is obviously very lovely, and hopefully you will continue to be pleased this evening with what we have to show and talk about tonight, which we'll get to in just a second. But first of all, I've been away for a couple of weeks. I've been at TwitchCon, I've been doing other various activities, but also making sure Will gets his turn to do some exciting things. So, what have I missed so far? What's been announced? I clearly don't know anything.
So far, we have seen the lighting improvements, the fog improvements, the cockpit UI update, the planet mapping, the exploration, the codex, the commander, the discoveries, the knowledge base. We've seen the orrery, they got a sneak peek on that. We've seen this background sim update. We've seen the new scenarios with VO and the new UI elements. And we also got some new localized COVAS packs last week for free as well.
And that's only 2 of the 4 live stream content that we're going to be showing you, which is super, super exciting. And as Adam said, it's absolutely amazing to be able to finally show off this stuff that we've been talking about we've been talking internally and looking at internally going, I cannot wait to show them. Yeah. And one of the highlights is tonight, at the end of tonight's stream. Again, we'll get into that in a second. But first of all,
it's
Adam,
an explosive finish.
It's an explosive finish. Very good. Yes, do stick around. Also, we'll do a giveaway at the end as well, which will be nice for everybody. But I have a question for you, sir. Yeah. And that is, how useful has because they've not just seen that content now. They've actually played it now in the beta. The beta is now live and available for anyone who doesn't already know that. Yeah. You can now play the things that you've just mentioned in the beta. How useful, or beta, as the Americans like to say, how useful has that been so far in terms of the feedback that you've been gathering?
As always, it's incredibly useful. From particularly, I suppose, with Chapter 4 being, some of them are very big improvements to the game, the cockpit UI and stuff. We understood that particularly the cockpit stuff, has a lot of muscle memory and stuff around it, and people have used the interface a lot for 5 years now, 4 years. So all the feedback is incredibly useful, and then there's the layer of mass testing and all the different configurations of PCs and networks and all that sort of stuff. So as always, it's been incredibly useful, and please do keep engaging and finding what there is to discover. I noticed some people have found some very interesting things today, which is great. Yeah, great, fantastic. But I would also just like to point out, don't try not to focus on just the one thing. Have a look at all the things we've put in there, because I want you to have a look at all of it and test all of it and really, really thrash that out.
Well, thank you. And I'm sure that you guys,
just before we moved on, some guys I think were expecting the other Adam tonight, and sadly he couldn't make it. He sends his apologies, but yeah, you just got me tonight, so sorry about that.
Adam.
I just wanted to say that very quickly. But hi Adam, if you're watching.
And hi Will if you're watching, and hi everybody if you're watching. So basically, I'm sure everybody at home or wherever you are is very excited to see the action tonight. I know I am. Yeah. So should we just get stuck in right into it? Yeah. What are we going to show tonight?
We're going to have a look at 2 things tonight. We're going to have a look at my face and your face. No,
that's it.
We're going to have a look at. We're going to have a look at Squadrons. So we're going to take a look at what is a squadron for, or who's it for, and what sort of play styles and things can you potentially do with it. How do you search for a squadron? We'll talk a little bit about how you created one, because I've already created one and I'm the leader of it, of course. So I can't create one on the stream, but we'll have a look at some mock-ups and stuff and talk about that. And we'll have a quick look in the kind of management side of the squadrons, what you are once you've created one, what can you actually have a look at? Then we'll have a little look at mining, maybe?
Or maybe a little
mining.
Some of the new tools.
We're going to have a little look at mining. We're going to show probing or firing probes at the rings to find out where the hotspots are.
Great.
Then we'll have a quick look at how you actually analyse once you're in that area that you want to be, how you then pinpoint the asteroid you want to break open or extract from. And then we'll have a look at the 3 processes, the 3 new processes and 3 new tools that you'll need if you want to maximise your mining profit. And then hopefully it'll end on a bang.
You know what I learned at Presentation University?
Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them.
Also, show, don't tell.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah, and show, don't tell.
But the first bit was really
Thanks.
Right, so let's do that.
A few caveats.
Some more caveats.
Sorry. 1, hot build.
Hot build.
So if you're playing bingo, tick that off. It is a hot build. I am going to be doing some of my dev magic to move myself around, all those sorts of things. We're going to do it behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain.
And I may also shorten some sequences. I feel like that needs a little text. I may shorten some sequences and just to get to the mother load.
In the interest of time.
And what you see here tonight may not be the final product. It's open to change and all that sort of gubbins that I have said at the beginning of every stream.
Adam is so good at this point. Please put some love in the chat for Adam. Right, let's move on over to the game. Are you ready to is that okay?
Yeah. Born ready. 33 years ago, born ready for this moment. Right. So Squadron. So. For those of you who attended, I mean, everyone's probably caught up on what happened at FX last year. Obviously, we announced Squadrons back there, and our visions, our 2 main kind of goals for Squadron was to increase communication and kind of management of these certain size groups of players that were sort of forming together. I think every game has those sorts of groups. I know some of the games outside of Elite that I play, Project Cars, things like that, we have groups of people that are like-minded in certain ways that we like to play. And we start to sort of form a little group. Wouldn't it be nice if you could actually fly your flag and make that a bit more formal in game as well? So
yes,
kind of bring it. Thanks. That was a rhetorical question, but you can answer. That's fine. That's fine. So bringing people together and kind of flying your flag for your squadron. It fits well with the lore and sort of the fiction behind Elite. You can make your own little squadron and feel part of a group of other like-minded players. But also, so the management and communication obviously comes through on that, but not only just kind of flying the flag and playing with like-minded people, how about actually some of the competitive side of things as well? And that's why we've added the leaderboards, which we'll have a little talk through tonight about some of the seasons and what you may or may not get if you're some of the top spots of Squadrons. But the first thing, obviously, to do is to find a squadron, I suppose. If you don't want to create one, if you're just a new player joining the game, or you've never really kind of wanted to, or never been part of a collection of people, and maybe you want to have a look at a squadron, maybe you can find one to join in. So from the new home panel, we've got the Squadrons page. Here, obviously, this isn't the create a squadron section. This is I've created a squadron, and this is what you will be presented with. But we'll gloss over that for now and just go straight to the browse squadrons and have a look at some other cheeky squadron name of greetings from Team UI there. I wonder if they put that in there ready for tonight's stream. So from browsing squadrons, you can have a look at from here. You can see we add newer squadrons along the top row. And then we kind of randomise some of the tags that you can set your squadron with. So things like we're PvP, or we're relaxed, or we play mostly on the weekdays or the weekends. Certain play styles as well, times and things like that. You can start to filter and have a look for squadrons that fit your what you're looking for out of the squadrons. So these are the tags you can see. These are the same tags that you can set when you build a squadron as well. And some of you may or may not note that some of these squadrons have got sort of some familiar names.
I'm familiar
so
with some of these
what
names.
We're doing now at the moment is we're just working through seeding the pre-requested squadron names. These haven't had their tags and things all fully set up, so that's why if I open up one from, I don't know, let's have a look at puzzles. You can see some of the tags have been started, but not all of them have been added in. And then at the bottom rows, we kind of randomly generate a few pre-selected tags just to give people a flavour. If you don't really know what you're looking for, here's some kind of suggestions if you want. So it's a very interesting tool to start people that are either new to the game or new to the community side of the game a way into finding how to play with other players. I think that's going to be quite an interesting way. And of course we do have your mates told you about a squadron. You can just text search for a particular one if you want to. So that's how you search for one. And then when you join one, so when you've searched for it and you found the one you want, you can send a request. You can have a look. You can find out the details on that squadron, if they're still accepting members, if they've got room for members and things like that. They can also set a public-facing statement, so you can have a look at what they're saying. So maybe that's a way to entice people into your squadron. And you're saying, come and play with us because we want to do this thing or whatever. But it's also a way to you can actually. Even not being part of that squadron, you can see that public-facing statement. So perhaps you could post events that are happening that you want everyone to know about, and maybe they can come and get involved as well.
Excellent.
So, as I was saying before, the kind of not two strands, but the other strand of it is the slightly competitive nature. People are competitive. I think that's fair to say.
In our community,
and so what we've added into Squadrons is this idea of leaderboards. Now these will come in a few varieties: Aegis or Xeno, Defence, Combat, CQC, Exploration, Political, Power and Trade. So these are very much in line with what playstyles and things are happening in the game already, along with obviously elite ranks as well. And being part of a squadron and taking part in activities will go towards your position on the leaderboard, which lasts for a season, which will be a certain amount of time. And then at the end of that season, the top 3 squadrons will win a lovely trophy to display proudly in your cockpit.
I do
which we have a little
an
thing.
Example of these right now.
Yeah.
Give me 1 minute.
Which is that one, yeah.
There you are.
So this is just a few, some examples of the elite ranks. So we've got Trade, Combat and Exploration there. And if you're on the top 3, then you'll be given one of these trophies to proudly display.
On your dashboard.
On your ship.
In the ship.
Mm-hmm. So it works like a bobblehead. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so
exactly
almost like holographic effect on there. They're very, very cool.
Yeah.
So these are sort of just one of the rewards that you're going to be getting from competing in these leaderboards. Are there other things that you
you get the bragging rights of being the top,
okay.
And you can also then see where you have finished in the various boards across the seasons and things like that. And you can also change up how you want to play. So maybe one season you're working towards that combat one, or the other one you can change as well. Yeah, exactly that.
Excellent.
So that's kind of leaderboards, but obviously, like I say, it's not just about the competitive nature of it. It's also about just bringing people together with like-minded play styles or the way you view the game as such as well.
Well, that's it, because I think it's important to note that there's thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people that play Elite Dangerous, and some of them might not be quite as active on the forums or quite as active in sort of the player group style. So actually, using the tools that you just showed off, the search functions and the tags, I think people are going to be able to find people to join with. It's a way to find new friends and a way to join together as your current friends as well. So you've got to remember those people are going to be searching through, like, they're just a solo player, like, actually I can find somebody who does a similar play style to me. They can search for it in the tags and they can find a group to join and then see all of like the activities that they're doing, the factions that you're going to go into more details on that in a
the factions, so that was what I was kind of moving towards next. So as you saw in the leaderboards, there was one which was the political, and what Squadron give you is the ability to align if you want to. If you're allied with a faction in the game, and that may be your own player faction or another faction you've just gotten sort of used to playing with and supporting, you can align your squadron to that faction, and then that also gives you some more in-depth information. So we saw last time in the last stream that we already had some more information about the background sim and factions and stuff coming up in the in-cockpit panel, in the status panel, but through Squadrons as well. I'm aligned to the Pallades Resource Enterprise, and I can see wherever they appear in the game, I can have a look at all their other systems and investigate what states they're in those systems as well. So we were saying last week with the background sim changes and having the multiple states, a faction could be in multiple states within systems and across systems as well. With Squadrons, I can actually investigate exactly what's going on in all the systems they appear. So I can see the states. Here I can see their pending state is an election, so there potentially could be some conflict or some things I might want to go and check out there and work on with that. And of course I can see across all 15 states as well as their home state. I can see information about who their leader is, their happiness, the influence, all those things you'd want to know about. So it's interesting from that point of view that you might not be a competitive player, but Squadrons and your group that are supporting a certain faction, with Squadrons you can get even more detail back from it.
Fantastic. Is there any way that we can show off? I mean, are you finished looking at this for now, or because this is the sort of thing that I think is can't wait for it to come out. I think this is next week.
Yes, yeah. So it will be the beta 2 build that gets released
sometime next week.
At some point next
week. People obviously be able to get their hands on that and really dig deep into how that. And we'll talk through how it's created. Why don't we do that? Are we able to talk a little bit about how it's created? So,
like I say, I can't go through the steps now because I've already created this one. The ever classically named the Edam family.
Very good.
Do you get that?
As in like
Ed and Adam.
Oh!
Edam.
I didn't get that. I did.
It was the other Adam's suggestion, so I probably shouldn't take it, but it's still good. So what we've got here is that it's what we call a UI mock-up, but this is what it looks like in-game, of the screen you will see when you first open the Squadrons tab. If you're not part of a squadron, you can join a squadron on the right-hand side. That's where we would get straight to that browse section. So you're straight in there and having a look at other groups that you want to see. And then on the left-hand side, you have the actual I want to create one. Now, creating one does come with a in-game credit cost. It's currently set to something like 10 million, I think it is.
Yeah, it says 1 million on the screen there, but I think that's just a
mock-up. Yeah, and again, we'll put it out, and that's always subject to change. And then you basically have your kind of straightforward form. So you have your squadron name. In our case, we're the Edam family. Squadron ID. So this is a 4-character ID tag that will then display if you are part of that squadron when someone else targets you. And that will appear in the target panel. So you'll know at a glance if someone's part of a squadron or not. And then on that screen, which I'm going to need you to put back so I can just remind myself. That's fine. You have your superpower, so you can align yourself to a superpower if you so wish. A faction, like I say, and of course a power as well. I'm a Fed boy. I've always been a Fed boy. That's why I've gone Federation and my main man, Zachary Hudson, who's not doing so well in power play at the moment, but that's fine. We'll gloss over that. And then the tags. So that's what I was saying about before. So here you can select any amount of tags. Maybe if you go back to the game, and I'll just show those tags again so that people can see them. Browse Squadrons. Let's go to the filter. So you've got the different tags here, from the activities in game to availability to the game mode, time zones, play style, languages, attitude, and if you want to. So the power play characters, yes, I'm aligned to Hudson, but maybe I also support the sort of the other federal ones and stuff, so you can kind of multi-select. And that's what I think is really good and interesting about Squadrons, is the ability to look at this way of tagging how you play and hoping that other people that are, just wanting more people to play with can start to look at that and join like-minded people.
Well, that's the interesting thing, isn't it, as well? Because of course the Elite Dangerous community they take these things and use the tools that we've provided. They always have, and they use them in some really fascinating, interesting, and creative ways. Yeah. And I kind of can't wait to see what happens when people get their hands on these tools that we've created. Yeah. Because they're so creative in terms of how they do things out of the game. So there are people such as the Fuel Rats and these service providing groups. And we're not trying. We would never even dream of trying to sort of they've take away what they do.
They've got that down. They know exactly what they're kind of doing and how to do it. And I think that Squadron then can serve a sort of a different purpose for the game and for players and for that. But also maybe you can look at how that could integrate into those services as well. So I'll be very interested to see. I've always been blown away by what we develop and we think, it's this way, and suddenly it's like, no, it's you guys have taken it over here and done some incredible things with it. And I think Squadrons is just another facet to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there's some questions coming through about the price of creating a squadron.
We did cover it before, I think, just shortly before. We said it is going to be around 10 million credits. Currently, that's where it's at again. It's why we have the beta. It's why we have these testing periods.
Yeah.
So
and that's in-game credits as well.
£10 billion.
$10 billion.
Tell me a lot. 10 million is what I said, by the way, just to be completely clear. Well, I mean, again, Squadrons is something that I can't wait to see how when people get sort of stuck in and start doing these things.
Can we have a quick look at just one more? No, you just one other thing. If we go back, well, not one other thing, but just to show a little bit about. So I'm in a squadron. I'm the leader of the squadron. You can see that from the top right. Up here, Adam Wood's leader. Just to give you guys a little sort of deep dive into what you can then do when you're in there. So at the moment, it's me, and of course I've got Adam Bourke-Waite in my squadron, because of course we were going to do it tonight. So you'll be able to see all the members. You can do filtering, you can have a look at sorting as well, and if you're looking for a particular commander, again, we've got all searches there as well. You can have a look at each member's, some of the information on each member on the right hand side. Did you select any of them? You can promote and demote them. You can add them as a friend, because of course Squadrons doesn't necessarily mean they're on your friends list. That's the great thing, you know. You might just be part of a squadron, but then suddenly you're building up a friends list as well, you know. Obviously invite to wings, invite to multi-crew. You can also dismiss members at certain ranks, and this is what Squadron allows you to do. The promote and demote, each rank has various things that it can or can't do, and you can set them yourself, so the leader can set them, but he can also set other ranks to be able to set these privileges as well. So as your group gets bigger, you can start to delegate. Delegate is the first rule of management, which I don't do very well. And you can do that. And you can also rename your ranks as well. So although the symbols across the top to the crown to the one star will stay the same, so there's a commonality so that you know ranks across squadrons, you can change them to however you want to. I had things like Jira Master, MS Project Wrangler, although we don't use MS Project anymore, things like that. So all production puns that no one really cares about. And you can apply that obviously with the applications. That's obviously where people apply, and you can accept or decline them. If I had any applications, don't have any friends, so that's sad. You'll be able to see, their Holomy, their elite ranks, and they can also send you a customized message as well if they want to. And then ultimately, there are a few things, once you've created, there are a few things you can go back and change, but there are some things that you are set in stone once you've created the squadron. And there's plenty of warnings when that happens. And there's also a few options here. You can see, yes, I'm accepting members, or we're not anymore. You can have a look at your tags, and you can also leave your squadron. And what that also means is that as the leader, I could pass that on to someone else if I wanted to. If I'd had if I was sort of wanting to not be part of the squadron anymore, we've got a mechanism to hand it over to someone else if you so wish.
And if everyone leaves, it just gets shut down?
Yeah, so if I was on my own and I wanted to leave, it wouldn't be leave, it would actually be disband.
Okay.
So if you've just got one member in your squadron, that becomes disband and you're off you go.
And you're able to leave and join, if you want to come back and join that squadron again, is that something that you're able to do?
As long as it's not been disbanded.
Okay.
So yes, if I handed it over to you, why would I do that? You're not capable of taking my squadron, the Edam family.
It's just
but in a moment of madness, if I gave it over to you, I could then come back whenever I wanted to. I can also, there's no kind of barriers between switching between squadrons as well.
Okay.
I can be part of a squadron, but if I wanted to, go and support someone else for a bit in their season or their faction or whatever, then just leave. If there's space and the other guys will accept you, then accept, and you can just
got the 500 member limit.
Yeah. So there's no sort of penalties for leaving.
There's no penalties for leaving, so you can leave and rejoin squadron. So, but you can only be in one squadron at a time. It's important to note that is
one squadron at a time. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And then the one thing that you may have seen there is some of the chat rooms. So the communication side of it,
is hugely important. Yeah.
And the feed
I was ready
as well.
to move on, and I don't know why.
So one thing that I don't think we've actually touched upon either. We've got the one thing that we've
so many things.
You would have seen from the changelog on Beta 1 that we've added the system-wide chat in now. So when you're in a system, you can talk to anyone that else that is within that system. It's not just within your local area. We've always had, obviously, the wing chat channels and things like that, and the direct from other players messages. Now you can, in the options section, you can tab these kind of chat channels out to separate things. So instead of just having one text chat, I've now got my main chat. I have direct from other players, the system chat. If I was in a wing, that's where wing messages would come from. If I was in a squadron, that's where the main squadron chat channel would be. Okay. But also, we have two channels for a squadron. We have everyone that's involved in the squadron can be in it, and then we have the leaders, so certain privileges, certain ranks. So you can have a high-level discussion about any usurpers in the squadron, or someone that maybe is being a little bit cheeky or something like that, and you can have a little private leaders chat.
Sorts of discussions that can happen. Yeah. Our private leaders chat would be different because we'd be talking about each other. No, I'm talking about Bourke-Waite.
Yeah.
And we shook him out. Basically, we already have.
I'd be straight here going, he didn't even turn up for the stream. He's out of the squad, right?
All right, that's cool.
And then a very quick glance at the squadron feed. So this is where certain activity from the squadron gets posted on a kind of timeline, and you can also post certain ranks can post either the public statement or the internal statement as well.
Okay.
And then they get
public statements can be viewed by
anyone, and that public statement will be shown when you're browsing a squadron.
Very nice.
So that's a nice player public-facing way to say, hey, this is our squadron.
This is what we do.
This is what we're doing. And then the internal ones can only be seen by people of the squadron itself. You can have one of these stickied, so they all one stickied at a time, if that makes sense. So one from each category. The most recent one will always be at the top, and then the previous ones will just sort of roll down that timeline as they go through. And you can see, squadron tags have changed, membership, Jameson wanting to join in, that's a pretty famous player, and things like that. And you can see like promotions and things like that.
Lovely.
And you can also, of course, filter it as well, because there's going to be lots of stuff going on.
I saw it says bookmarks on there. I don't know if you want to.
Yes. So squadrons can also share bookmarks between members as well. So as you find places of interest and things like that, you can bookmark it, share it with the squadron, and then everyone can see that and get involved. And then again, of course, there's some privileges and ranks that will all determine who can edit and make and do those sorts of things.
So it's all of this comes together to be sort of an in-game way to communicate and join up with friends, find new friends.
And play together with like-minded people, play for a competitive edge if you want to get involved in those leaderboards, support your faction, or just have a good time with 3 or 4 of you. It's kind of, and then that suddenly, or 500, and then suddenly it starts to grow, and actually you've got more people requesting because they're searching for you, and you've got the right kind of public-facing statement and things like that, and suddenly you become this quite a force to be reckoned with on the leaderboards or on the factions, or just playing on your own, playing with your friends.
Yep. Very excited to see what you guys do with it as well once you pick it up. I mean, next week, of course, is beta period, so remember as well, when it does come out and does become available to you, remember that it is the beta as well. So there could be things that will change or could be different, just like things that we're showing off tonight.
Yes.
So we have the second half.
We do. I need to do a little bit of setup for this. Just a little bit of setup.
So what should I do?
So make sure they can't see my dev magic is the thing.
The dev magic. Okay. Well, hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining us as well tonight. It's been hopefully very informative and interesting so far tonight. We do have. We're going to be talking through mining in just a second, as soon as Adam's ready.
Until I give you the wink.
Until you give me the magic, the dev magic wink. But yeah, I just wanted to say again, what a fantastic, amazing ride it's been, and thank you so much so far for all of the people who've played in the beta and all the bug reports you've done so far. It's hugely useful, so please do keep all of that feedback and all that's coming through. Every single little tiny bit of it that we receive is super helpful.
It is. I'm not being ignorant. I can't do 2 things at once.
Okay, that's fine. That's all right. I can barely do one thing at once.
Right, let me just get into...
Just do the thing and talk.
Just do the thing, or whatever, with the loudest keyboard known to man.
Hey, look, that's what we thought we would put the loudest keyboard known to man to put into the live stream to make sure it's all working.
I think we're good.
Give me the wink. All right.
I don't know if that was the right wink. And no one saw it either because it was on this side and my nose blocked it probably.
Okay, great. All right, here we go. So we're in position.
So, the very first stream I showed some exploration, I stopped at firing a probe at a ring because I wanted to save it for tonight. So here I am. I'm in my Python. I've done my exploration. I found this planet that's got some rings around it. I'm interested in finding out how to really extract the goodness from those rings. Where do I need to go? Where do I need to go?
We're about let's just set this up, Adam, because we're about to talk about some fundamental changes coming to mining. We've shown off so much during this last year already about Squadrons, which is a fundamental change to how you're going to group up and join your friends in game. And I can't wait to see what we'll do. But this is. We've done exploration, we've done all this, the codex, massive changes that people are already thrilled about, and this, I would argue, is just as big a change.
Absolutely. It's a big improvement and addition to everything else. From trade all the way through to where we are now, right from. And you didn't see any of that.
Using all of the features that are in the game for exploration, all these features come together, meaning that like it all kind of ties into one another.
That's the really interesting thing. I think. That's possibly the most exciting thing I've seen on the beta so far, is how many people are going, oh, I found this thing through the tool. I'm not an explorer, but I found the organics and stuff that we've had on the planet for 2 years. And people are finding that. It's that connectivity, it's the connecting the game all together, and they're not just tools for the explorer, although they are very good for the explorer, they're for the miner as well. So I've got here, because of the new FSS mode, and I've jumped into the system, I haven't done it now, I've, a build I prepared earlier, right? It's like Blue Peter, it's fine. I've used the FSS mode, I found the ring because I know where the signal is on the bar. I've zoomed in, found it, flown to it, and now I'm going to probe the ring.
And I keep trying to stop myself from talking because I'm really excited, but I am, and that's what Beyond is all about. It is like that, bringing it all together. And I do keep saying excited. So if you are playing,
there's some people going, just stop talking and get on with it. So I'm going to carry on talking about it now instead.
Going.
No, right?
Don't build.
Okay.
Hashtag Showdown's house is trooper. I did say that. I did say that. Right.
Right.
And you know what? They're right.
So I switched analysis mode.
I'm going to take the camera off so we can have a good look at this.
There we are. Switched off analysis mode. I've got my detailed surface scanner set up. Here we go. I've got a lot going on here. Here we go. So I've got my detailed surface scanner. I'm going to move just a little bit closer to this ring. And then we'll turn it on. So it's the same premise as firing probes at the planets, but I'm just going to shoot one at the ring instead. So off goes my probe. That's contacted the ring. It makes a full sweep. And then we've got some hotspots. Hotspots. So I now know that there's some pretty interesting things around this area. But not only do I have the visual guide as well, I also have them listed on my navigation tab as well. So no longer are you just trying to find like the res sites and things. You can actually be a lone miner out on the frontier, just kind of going out and finding things that you so wish. So let's head to one of these spots. This is possibly. I'm going to do another. Here's one I made earlier. If you can switch some dev magic off for me.
Okay.
Please.
Absolutely. Yep. Bring us back. This is while you're doing that. You saw some quite large hotspots there. Is that kind of how they will appear in the game, or are these again subject to change and things?
These are subject to change. Yeah. Everything is. I'm not going to say anything's totally final just yet, because I don't want to. I want the not yet. I want the room to be able to do.
Some of that stuff themselves. Get some experience on those things. Yeah. Okay.
1 second.
You've got to give me the magic wink.
The magic wink. Let me just back myself up a little bit.
It's honestly, it's absolutely thrilling. From my end, it's very exciting indeed.
Right. Okay.
Just take
go.
Just a second.
Wink.
Okay. Go. Wink. All right. Okay. Great. And here we are. We find ourselves in
the ring. Here's one I prepared earlier. So you're in the ring. You've worked your way all the way down from the central star of the system. You found your planet that's got rings around it. You've got to the planet. You've fired your probes at the rings, and you're in here. But how, out of all of these asteroids, do you find the one you actually want? You use the pulse wave scanner. So I can now, if I deploy it and set the right one up, where is the pulse wave? So I can now scan the asteroids and they'll return some interesting colours. Now there's one that's pretty bright in front of me there.
Which one you see that? Oh, the one that's right in the middle.
There we go. Yeah, that's pretty warm, that one. So maybe that's quite interesting. And you'll see that some of them are a little bit duller than others. So I think we'll just go straight to that real hot one there, shall we?
I think that would probably be a good idea.
Yeah.
I think servers and demonstration this evening.
But how do I find out if that's the one that I really want? You use your prospectors. So prospector limbers is something that's already in the game. And these have been enhanced to return interesting features of asteroids now. So we fire my prospector at it. It's quite far away.
It's further away than you realised.
There we go. So it now completes a scan of that asteroid. And you can start to see there's some interesting highlights that are left over. And now we've got also some icons as well. But not only are we visually looking at it, and if I was to, well, we'll see that in a second actually, because I'll need to fly close to it. We can now see that in my contacts, I've got some new and interesting entries. I've got fissures, which I find really hard to say. I've also got a new surface deposit, and I've got subsurface deposits. Now at this point, it's also quite poignant to say that the mining laser that everyone's used to is still in the game.
So
you can still use it. If that's how you want to mine, then absolutely go ahead and go and do it. These are in addition to that. If you want to move your mining career on, you can then fit yourself out with these. And there's pretty much, it boils down to, here's me trying to stall again, huh? Go on, get on with it.
No, I'm just enjoying the chat seem to find that
there's four new pieces of equipment. There's the pulse wave scanner, which is the thing we've just seen to pinpoint the rock you want to look at. Then there's the 3 new ways to extract the things from the asteroid, and that's what we were just talking about, the new surface, the new subsurface, and then the fissures. We'll work our way through them from surface upwards, shall we?
Fun.
So let's target this new surface deposit. And also, I think...
So are these hotspots persistent, or are they different from every player that comes in and sees this?
They'll be, if someone dropped out with me now, they would see the same things. And also, blowing up a mother load has a certain amount of time before, whilst it's persistent as well. Yeah. So what we saw in the very first stream, I was outside of an asteroid base, and I teasingly looked to my right. Please don't get hit by that asteroid.
That would be terrible.
I looked teasingly to my right, and there was a cloud within the volume, and that was one of our developers that had blown up a mother load the day before, and it was still there. So there is a certain amount of persistence. I don't know the time frame exactly, but yes, there is a certain amount of persistence. Right, so let's get this subsurface. So what I need for surface deposits, what I need for this is the new abrasion blaster. So this is, and you can see that there's actually. That's the first time. Do you know what? I survived a scenario last week where I was dodging and doing all kinds of things, and I flew into an asteroid this time.
People have been saying ship lights, and perhaps that was your problem.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Let's use night vision. There we are.
Look how lovely that looks.
Right. So let's use this. This is a small charge-up weapon. So I fire and hold, and then I break the surface deposit off. And now that's the new bit that's just come off. If I target it, it's got a fair amount more content than if I was just using the mining laser.
Okay.
The balance of what comes out of these asteroids will be balanced during beta and things like that, but this is currently what it is. So that's the only surface deposit. So let's move on to the subsurface deposit. Now this needs probably a little bit of explanation before I go and do it, to alert you guys to look at the right areas when I do the thing I'm about to do. So the subsurface deposits need the dispersal missile mining tool, and what this is a small kind of explosive head that drills into the asteroid itself. And gives you some readout on the target panel about its density and the hotspots that you need to release the trigger to explode the charge to throw the thing out. So it's kind of like the the flak launcher, the Thargon, the anti-Thargon weapon, fire and hold, and then let go. And what you're going to see in the target panel, if you keep an eye on there, there's two sections. The top section is the density of the asteroid. The thicker that bar, or the graph, the slower the drilling tool will go through the rock. And at the bottom, there's orange and blue highlights. Now, the blue highlights is where you want to release the drill to explode to extract the actual goodness. But enough talking. Let's do some showing.
Show don't tell.
Show don't tell. But I have to tell a little bit. Right. So let's see if I can do this. I can do this, right? So that's so deploying drill. So I can now see top is density, bottom is the areas I want to let go on. On the blue, nice. I managed to extract a piece of something that's lovely there, and off it goes. There we are, so a little bit of that. And of course, there's more to take out of that one. So we'll just go and do that again, so that we'll choose another one, so that people can have a little look. There we are, let's see if I can do it from here. There we are, so I'm holding down, you can't see me, holding down, and I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go on the hard one. There we go. And there's another one. So are you getting more for going on the harder things? No, it's just if I want to be a completionist, if I want to get everything out of that, I'll go through again and again and make sure I get it all out. And it's a good way to work up as well, because of course you're taking away the stuff that would get blown apart if you do the fissures, which is...
Can we see it with the lights off as well?
Yeah, of course.
Or just maybe the ship lights instead,
Yeah.
Great. Just so we can see that effect a little bit better as well. And also, please do let me know if you can't hear the audio of the game enough, if you want me to turn it up or down. Just do let me know in the chat and we'll make that happen.
Oh, that's a miss.
Is that a miss?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to be quite accurate with it.
There we are, I've got it at the time. So let's go there. Yes. And out it comes.
Yeah, that's a great little blast.
Yeah. So that's the new surface deposits and the subsurface.
Great, that's two of them.
And that's all that mining is. There you go, end of the stream. Thanks very much. I'm joking. Don't leave. Right, so let's move on to the fissures. So again, I need to do a quick explanation before we move on to actually blowing this up. So for the fissures, you're going to need seismic charge warhead. That sounds pretty beefy, doesn't it? And that's because you're going to have to use a lot of power to break this thing open. You can see that on the contacts panel I've got the different fissures, and if I look at them and I want to investigate getting this onto the actual contacts panel as well, but if you look just to the right, you can see each fissure has different strengths: low, average and high. And the seismic charge has a pull, a press and hold to charge. So if I press and let go, it's going to be very low strength. If I press and hold for a little while, it will build up. There's some UI that will also show the various sections. I think you can see them now. Actually, they're the three segmented bars either side of my weapons reticle. And if I leave it to the top, I'm going to get a high strength. Now, the ultimate way to break it out is to balance all of those. Set all the charges just right so that you break it apart, but you don't get rid of too much of the goodness inside as part of the explosion. Or you could be like me, like I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to throw a couple of high charges in some low strength ones just to break it apart, so I can show you. Excuse me, just so I can show you. Obviously, we all want to see it go boom, right? I know that's what.
Is it going to go boom? I didn't realise. I didn't realise that's what I was going to happen.
Let me set one first, and then I'll talk very quickly about some other UI that comes up to help you guide it. So let's move on.
I also kind of want to know, in terms of how beneficial this is for sort of commanders in the galaxy. Kind of what is it more lucrative now as well? With
yeah. So
doing it this way.
If you so using it this way, I'm getting more out of the asteroid rather than just scraping the surface of it with the work that we're doing with the lasers. You know, there's more to it. That's because I was looking at you instead. It's fine.
You can't keep blaming me.
So I'm going to charge it up, and then so that's now set. So you can see low strength, high yield charge set, and we've got some information on the info panel now as well. Got a detonation time. So already I'm working against the clock. I've got 2 minutes though, so that's all right. And then we've got those 3 coloured bars. Orange, I'm not going to break it apart, it's not got enough power. Blue, that's where you get the sweet spot. If you can build up enough charge in that asteroid to get in the blue and not in the red, you're going to get maximum yield out of it. If you go red, you're going to break it apart, but you're going to sacrifice some of that inner goodness. So let's sacrifice some of that inner goodness so I can break it apart for you, lovely people watching it.
When you fire this next one, if we can do it so we can just listen to it as well.
Yeah, sorry.
No. The information is going. Adam, it's scaring me.
It's okay.
Making my heart go like nobody's business.
Let's track that asteroid. Okay.
Just because she says some stuff as well.
Missed it. Sorry.
Don't worry, it's not something.
So if you do miss one, they bounce off and they'll explode harmlessly just wherever they're sat. You can see it there flashing away actually.
45 seconds remaining.
It's fine. There we are, set that one. Right, so now I've overcharged it. So you can see I'm right in the red. I've overcharged it, but that's fine because we want to see it explode. I'm going to turn my ship lights off really quick. And with 29 seconds to go, I'm going to tell you very quickly that when you set them, you can see on your contacts panel what ones have got things set in them, and you can quickly detonate now as well, or disarm as well. So you can turn off them as well, or you can detonate now. I'm going to be quiet, and we're going to watch this.
Detonation in 10 seconds.
Need some night vision to have a look inside this thing, aren't I?
You were quite close there.
Yeah, yeah. Something we said at FX is that we wanted mining to have a sense of jeopardy, and of course, I think you've all seen that was because it took a fair amount of my shields. Again, it's something we would balance. And I purposely was close so that you could see that effect of me getting blown apart and kind of having the whole thing. And then when I'm inside the asteroid, so I'm not, it's not a lie, you can actually now fly through those pieces. We've now got new surface deposits, so all that lovely juicy stuff that was buried deep inside of it that we couldn't get hold of, we can now.
Can I go and scoop it all up?
Go and scoop it up. I can use my abrasion blaster. Let's have a look at that one there. You've got to be really careful when you're inside these things because it's all kind of. There we are. Get rid of that one. Let's get out of here because I don't want to risk that anymore. But you can also see that we've got that kind of fog within a fog volume. You can see the dust and stuff that is all kicked up from that big explosion, and that's what we saw right back on that very early stream. The debris and the kind of the wake of destroying a motherlode.
Well, there you go. Well, Adam, there you go.
That was more stressful than blowing up those power nodules on the megaship.
The last 10 seconds that you did there when you were trying to get the information in there before it blew up was quite impressive. But people seem to enjoy it, and I'm really glad that they see it. And again, I'm sure people have lots of questions and want to see us do it again and again and again. But I think that, I hope you enjoyed that. I think do it more for yourself and see all the different effects that it can have and see all the different things that you can do with those tools.
I do need flight training.
It's great.
You try and fly on the stream in front of...
How will that work in sort of wings and stuff like that? How does that... As in, will people be able to do multiple asteroids at once?
So, you could...
have somebody swooping in to do the blaster or somebody else plants the charges.
Yeah, so you could all work together and get the surface to... I wouldn't necessarily say that you should try and set the charges whilst getting rid of all the other surface stuff. You should probably work through it in layers. Or if you want a challenge, then sure, go for it. Who am I to say how to play the game?
Or you could, and this is just where my immediate thought goes to, you can create a trap for somebody and then create a lucrative little space where people can go in and you hide in it and wait and then sneak out there.
There was a good question
there. And of course, to play the pirate role and say, hey, drop all your cargo.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about ganking.
No. There was someone just asking how do you actually equip them. So they're available from outfitting. They're under the mining tools section. 3 of them go to the abrasion blaster. I've spelled all over the desk. Abrasion blaster, dispersal missile, and seismic charge all go on hard points, and then the pulse wave goes on optional internal, if I remember rightly. And then you can go away and be a miner, set yourself up with a refinery, get yourself some collectors, some prospectors, and have some fun out in the black.
So when you consider,
in the dusty rings.
When you consider the exploration changes all ties into this in terms of finding the locations of these hotspots. You add in all the exploration changes that people are already playing with. You talk about the codex, you talk about squadrons, you talk about planetary mapping, all the lighting changes.
So I'm in a squadron. I like mining. I've looked for the tag. I found the squadron they like. I've joined it. Someone's out somewhere. They find a really lucrative space. They bookmark it, share it with the squadron. I go in. I don't even need to use the tools if I don't want to. I can just go straight in. But he's used the tools to find that ring. He's used the new exploration tools to find exactly where it is, shared it with the squadron. And that's just one element of how you can use these things to how you want to play.
And of course, this is all in, if you own Horizons, for all the Dangerous Horizons players, the free Beyond update, the free Quarter 4 update, which people can actually get their hands on right now. And next week on, it's next week, I'll give you exact details as soon as possible, but Beta 2 will come out, and that's going to have this in it. You're going to be able to get your hands on this and start playing it, and then when it comes out, of course, you can use it to your advantage and make lots of cool money for it. Well,
someone, sorry,
that's absolutely fine.
Someone just said Pulse Wave should be a utility slot. You might actually be right. I might be incorrect, and it might be a utility slot, so I'll need to check that.
No worries. We also do have a giveaway to do as well.
Giveaway?
Yes, I do stick
Squadrons,
around just for the moment.
mining, giveaways.
I can't wait. I want people in the chat, and we were going to do it the old school way and just randomly pick from the chat, but we're going to do the giveaway. We're going to pick 3 people, and each of those 3 people are going to win, I believe, a Frontier paint job for the crate. And then a couple of paint job packs, which I'll decide later. But either way, they're going to get those. Well, let's get it done nice and quickly. But first of all, before we do that, it's going to be one of the last things that we do. So a huge thank you to everybody for coming along tonight. It's not the last of the streams. The last of the streams is, of course, next week. Same time again next week on Thursday. So even more content to show off that's coming in the free Beyond Chapter 4 update, which is just wild. So I would like everyone in the chat to say the words, "I can't wait to go mining with my squadron."
You've got to really want that paint job.
Our beautiful assistant, who is in the chat, is going to pick 3 names for us. But in the meantime, Adam,
there was a couple of questions that I think there was someone asking if the current mining laser still works. Yes, it does, absolutely. This is in addition to that, so if you want to use the mining laser and just carry on doing that, that's absolutely fine. There was another one I can't remember now. That's really annoying. The pulse wave being a utility slot, can you use a mining laser? Do you still need the prospectors? Yes, you do need the prospector to find out what's going on in the asteroid, to find those contacts and make it a little bit easier on yourself to blow it apart. It works on rocky, ice and metal.
Does it work on other players?
No. That's actually a good point, actually, no. Oh, yeah. So it's a mining tool, it's not a weapon. Although it does take a hard point, it's not a weapon, it is a mining tool.
All right. Okay, so stop saying it once you've said it once, because we are already picking winners. So once you've said it once, you won't say it again. So the first winner that we have is the wonderfully splendid, I'm sure, Commander Bat 29. So what you need to do is email community@frontier.co.uk with your commander name. And I won the paint job on the live stream tonight. All you need to say in the subject, give us the details of your commander name in there as well, so we can find you and add it to your account. It's worth noting that your email address and your details won't be used for anything else other than for this competition. The second winner is Unreal Nox. Unreal Nox.
Congratulations.
N-O-X. Congratulations. And the final winner is ZX_Specky, who is a long-standing member of our community.
ZX
so thanks for joining in and thanks for being here. And thank you to everyone. Did I mention as well that all of the best ones were here tonight?
I mean, I might be biased because I'm on it, but yeah, I think all
I meant in the chat. We're in here too.
Yeah.
We're in here this room too.
All the best people were here.
All the best people.
All the best people
All the best
were here.
ones are here in the chat.
How red I've gone.
And thank you. No, I'm so sorry. Do you want to summarise something about how excited you are to redeem yourself after that one?
No, I don't think I can. I don't think I can I?
Oh, much love to Adam, please,
That's
in the
it.
chat, and much love to all of the guys who've worked on this amazing content so far. All of the stuff that you've seen over these last 3 weeks. The team have been so hard at work. The team, which is, I remind people, stronger than it ever has been as far as Elite's development is concerned.
I don't know how else to say it apart from play the betas, look at these live streams, look at the love and attention that's going into all these new features and things, and the orrery has been, all you need to do is look at what we're, trying our absolute hardest to ensure that this is an incredible update, and it's shaping up to be so far. And like Ed says, it's all down to the people I get to work with every day, and I'm a very lucky person to be able to do that.
So, to summarise, because of course, if you want to make sure that you get your distinction at the Presentation University, you have to tell them what you told them.
So what did we have a look at tonight? We had a look at Squadrons. We had a look at where Squadrons came from, what was our goal for Squadrons, how do you find Squadrons, how quickly do you create one, what's the general management within a Squadron as well. We had a quick look at leaderboards and what you can get for being top of the leaderboard if you so wish, and you can also have a look at your faction, a little bit more detail on the faction if you're supporting one. And we had a little look, a very big look, at mining, the new tools that you're going to need to use, how to actually find that hotspot within the ring, tying that in with the exploration, the surface deposits, the subsurface deposits, and ultimately the fissures, which ended on that explosive finale. About to say
Very good. So, well done, Adam. I can confirm that you have passed this module.
Yes.
But
that's 3 or 4.
Is, of course,
that's 3 or 4.
There is next week, which of course you could fail. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for coming along. You are the best, and we will see you.
You are the best.
Same again. Thank you. This time next week. Thanks again. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.